Check if Jefferson can join us today. All right, so last time we left off, we were working through getting SCC working with GitLab CI. So let's take a look here. So it's out in guided explorations. And we're working our way through in the plugins folder here. CIC plugin extension counter. If I remember correctly, we were trying to get this to run on a list. So let's just take a look at our YAML file. Okay. So this is our plugin file. Yep, we were on another branch. So we were having some trouble with the other branch. The other thing we were having trouble with was getting this repo folder parsed out of a repository name. So we're working through next trying to get this so that it can parse a repo name and handle that as an input parameter, and then maybe eventually start handling a list of them. So this is the first level trying to do this. Some of the examples we're looking up, we're using base name in order to get the very end part of a URL. It turns out, though, that base name does not handle certain special characters. So it doesn't like dashes, and we've got dashes in here, and it doesn't like curly braces, and there's a good chance that we'll be handing in parameters on the actual URLs that have a special parameter to allow GitLab CI runner to go out and grab a new repo. So we need a solution that will be able to parse all of that out and give us just the repository folder name. So after our last call, let's see, I don't think I'm actually screen casting yet. 1 second here. All right, so here's the code that we had worked out so far to do this. Now, also last time we had a article on the web we were following about ideas about how to do this to actually parse the project name out. So I'm just looking, I think I recorded the location of that article because I was peeking at it a little bit after we wound up, and there was a pretty good regex in there that might be able to handle this for us. Last time around, we were joking around about how regexes are not our favorite thing, but if you can find a good example one, sometimes they will go over no problem. I might have actually put that. Nope, there's no issues in here. Let me just check another spot. Might have added the note to our issues for the live code here. It's not there. Add in merge request. No, so let's research for that. Parse git folder from URL. Let's see if this is the one we're looking at. Base name. Ship it sell by. Oh, these are all using base name. Last one had a really nice little sed command that was helping out. 1 second here, let's see if I can find that article reference. Just take a peek one other spot. Okay, let's try a different Google search. Trying to find your way back to the same, let's see, sed. Using sed to parse folder from git row. Okay, or base name might have been what we had done before. This looks very similar. So what we'll do is we'll test it on the exact container again like we did last time. So our container's right here. And so let's give this a test here. We have the exact same version of sed. Also want to test if I have square brackets, curly brackets will work. Yep, still working for that. And then I think I might end up getting a trailing slash with some of mine. So there it fails once we do a trailing slash. And I think what I did is not remember what I did to get rid of the trailing slash. I might just leave it for now. All right, so without the trailing slash, we have this to work. What I'll do is I'll look up later what I had found before. So we should be able to just put this. Let's see here. We had a parameter defined, I think. Maybe not yet. Okay, we're right in the right spot, so I'm just going to do echo. I thought we did all of this. Let's see the variables now. Oh, here we go, repo list account. So right now I'll just deal with it as a singleton. And then just do echo just so we can. All right, we'll give it a round, see what happens. And our pipeline started. I'll hop over there. So if we can get this going, we'll have the capability to take parameters right here in the master. What we'll need to do is document here that we have a required parameter, required variable that contains repository. Okay, looks like we might have got it because it's cloning. Oh no, we don't know yet. So once it's done cloning, we'll be able to see if it changes correctly into the correct subfolder. Okay, can't see these, so what did I? I hope if I reference this as a variable instead of text. in this case, these pipelines are a single job, so we can actually save a little time by looking at the jobs panel instead. And then the next thing we would do is, if we want to take a list, is to wrap this in a for statement. While that's cooking, I'm going to go this next one here. I have a private repo that I keep code snippets in. It helped me with good beginning points for Bash and PowerShell and Git. And anytime I work out a command, it takes me like 30 minutes to figure it out. And, you know, won't be using it often. I try to make sure to put it in my snippets repo. So we go to Bash, have some for loops. Let's have a sample one. Do anything fancy, but I have this. Let's see if we completed successfully or not. Okay, we got through. I think we had that before. This is nothing we actually got through the part we were wanting to, because we emitted our folder here. We're getting a bad regex on this piece for the du command we're using. So what do we get for a container here? Our output container. Oh, that's weird that we fixed that last time. There's a weird dash in a bad place. And the right branch. Okay, we'll run this again. Oh, we're also updating it. So now we're going to, this is called repo list account. We're going to actually treat it as a list. And leave the under do space for now. Current repo. And then we're going to have to move a bunch of this stuff inside the loop. And I guess just about everything, because we're going to, no. I'm going to do all of our extractions first. I guess we want to go to this point and then loop. Only we did a CD to repo folder here. So if we're looping, we're going to want to do a CD up one level to go through the loop again. Let's indent so I can see more clearly what's going on here. So we'll change this to whatever the current one is. And what happened here? Say we got the same thing. So let's search for this code. The results. Okay. All right, and my screen's flashing for some reason. Okay, so we're going to cycle through these. If there's one, I think we should work fine. And just try another commit. Same branch. So we'll want to cycle through and extract all the repos with all the partial clones, sparse checkouts, shallow clones. So all that'll happen for all the repos, and then do one pass at all the counting of any repos we want to pull in. So let's find another repo out there just in preparation. So I think we should have GitLab org, I think. No. That doesn't matter much. Let's go grab something on the guided exploration. Trying to find something that was big so that we would see the time savings across two large repos. All right, that succeeded. So we have a count completed for that repo. That also should have proved out our loop is working as well. And what I like to do with loops too is kind of indicate where we're at. So we'll say echo working on, and let's start so we can make it distinctive. So it's like a new start. And we also want to grab this URL here. And if we go to our list, let's separate with a space, and then we'll look at maybe using a different character for delimiting. There's not usually spaces in the URLs, but it can be handy to have a delimiter character. And if this works, we should get 2 repos to come down and then run the count across all of them. And these are public repos, so the HTTP URL works, but what we'll want to try next is duplicating a repository using the token, runner token, so that we could be doing this on private repositories too. So let's go find that bit of code. That is in a guided exploration where we chat about writing back to repositories. So I think it's in tips, tricks, and hacks. Commit back to repos during pipeline, and commit to self and external repos. So in this example here, one example is working on this repository right here, but a second example is working on a repository we pull from somewhere else. And this is an example of how we do that. So in this case, it's parameterized, but we will put the regular one in here. Okay, so this failed us. What's going on here? We did our installs, and we tried to clone that first repository. Can't CD. Oh, looks like it's got the same. Go. Get rid of this since it's just a duplication of our previous message. Cloning into. Okay, so it looks like it doesn't say it failed the clone, but it either failed the clone. There's our subfolder name, it's parsing correctly, or the target folder isn't what we think it is. Let's try forcing the clone. Current repo. And then repo folder. I have a feeling we must have gotten the repo in the first place. But this also makes things a little more clear. If we end up getting a bad parse, it won't matter because we're forcing it to the folder that we parsed. And then whenever I'm running into something like this, I just use sort of a elemental childish way of debugging. So I'm just going to do an ls-ashel to see what's here. So let's do that before in case that error terminates. So we'll get a feel for what is happening here. And we grabbed our repository name. Let's try to go to it. So it is available. Okay, so repo folder, then no checkout, currently put a repo folder, and do an ls, and then we try to cd there. Too many arguments, doesn't like my git command. Okay, so we're gonna also add a -v for verbose on here. So we can see exactly what we're doing wrong. Now, interestingly, I was thinking we'd have to call the GitLab API to enumerate a set of groups. I did find a way to do it with just the URL. We'll probably have to use the API too if we want to do that part. I'm not sure if we'll get to that today. Okay, so here we're getting a proper clone. That's encouraging. One or more repository URLs. Okay, this is kind of strange. So it says we're working on this. Oh, I got both of them there. So it seems to unpack it to this, which is completely bizarre. Seems like it created a folder called HTTPS : and we can't switch. I don't get why that would happen at all. Let's see, since it's picking the last one thing I want to try is just swapping these two. Got Git on both of them. Okay, so this time we'll swap them and see if it gets at least do the first one correctly. or if somehow I've done something else goofy here. Add the V. I wonder if that's Git. Okay, it says it wants it at the end. Maybe it's sensitive to that position of V specifically. That would never happen. Totally weird. Okay, move around. Current repo out of this list. Working on current repo. Working on, oh, it's not parsing it. It should parse on space, shouldn't it? Well, let's just skip it though. So we'll do, I don't know, maybe a semicolon. So for loop with. So we're going to set our separator value and then process like this. So say fs equals semicolon, and then in here separate the semicolon, which we should never see in any URL, I don't think. Get URL. So you can see here that because we said working on, I didn't pick up this on the first time, but it's giving us the entire item, but I didn't check if, yeah, current repo should be the parsed value, but instead we're getting both URLs mushed together. So it is trying to clone this URL into a file folder named this, and so then it only gets this part as far as valid folder characters and creates that folder. See if we can do, didn't do any better job this time. Can I read the username? Okay, this is the part where I get frustrated by basic syntax. So let's get our container up and running with the same exact version of Linux. First, we'll try this. Now, I might have to copy the IFS bit. Interesting. Might actually still be parsing it. Oh yeah, it is. Okay. We're not using a variable. So let's get our code. Yes. Okay. Get my butt kicked by basic looping here. Current repo, current repo. These quotes aren't doing any good. Double quotes. So I definitely should have told me it's not liking this. Another example here. Completely different reference here. $1, comma. See. This makes any difference. You're in the wrong shell. Much better. Back to space. Let's see if we can get any joy. There's a way to get this back to default. I know I've done that before too. Maybe it doesn't like some of these characters. I have this. Oh, here we're using it to read key value pairs. Let's not looping on that. Oh, the space tab new line. Okay, unset. Nope, can't get it to do a list, and I'm not sure why. Gosh. I know it's a little bit fussy on the references. So let's try. Oops. Oh, quotes. So we'll Docker. Okay. Okay. This guy. Double quotes here. This is why they call it bash. Default set for IFS. Oh, but what I was going to do was do without. Unbelievable. How do I get out of that mode when I get into it? Oh, but we don't have the variable. There we go. So there's some sort of magic in using double quotes here, which I'm not sure if GitLab passes this through the same way or not. And then here, not using any quotes. That half hour is the explanation of my pure love for bash. Let's see though if it's going to behave under GitLab. Still might not. I have no more faith left at this point that it will do anything predictable. Okay, so we're able to get a proper separation here. Quoting it was turning it back into a string, it looks like. Got our packages installed. And we're still getting a failure. Still getting it come through as a single value. When it goes to GitLab. Double check against what I used here. Huh. Just not sure how to get this to expand correctly. I didn't log into the live stream chat because I was late to the game here, so there might be a bunch of you telling me what to do, and I don't. I can't see it right now. Let's just try it back this way again. Something else. Maybe it's just the goodness gracious. Okay, there's putting it all together. I'm going to use quotes. And there's not when I take the quotes out, but when I leave them out in GitLab CI, it is not. Figured it out. Let's run the wrong job here. Well, I'm glad it's Friday because this is kicking my can today. I'm going to figure this out. I probably won't drag you all through another one of these. I'll probably fix it and then demo it at the beginning of the next live coding. So you got to see me get my butt kicked doing Bash. My favorite thing to do is burn hours and hours on Bash syntax under various versions of the shell. But I hope you all have a good weekend, and we will pick it up in 2 more weeks. I'll have a solution for you. We'll demo that, and then we'll go on to something else. Thanks a lot for watching.